Hey everyone on Facebook. We're with Nina Kovner, Passion Squared. Yay. And this is Gordon Miller. I'm publisher of American Salon magazine, and we're doing what I hope is going to become a regular Monday night chat on Facebook with some of our favorite business minds. One of my favorite is Nina Kovner, Passion Squared.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah. Hey Nina, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Gordon?
I'm very good. We're excited. We're going to talk social media with you for the next at least half hour. Who knows? We'll kind of see
Fantastic.
how the clock goes. First, an introduction of Nina, Passion Squared, one of my favorite social thought leaders in the industry today. One of my favorite social media and digital thought leaders, period. And I have a lot of smart people that I love to follow, but Nina's, I think, one of the smartest, and really kind of a guru in social media for the professional beauty industry, and respected throughout the industry as such, a columnist in American Salon magazine.
Yes, I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
We appreciate it, and someone who has a long history in the industry, has a really important position for many years in the manufacturing world, and you moved on to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It is totally weird, and I love it because you and I kind of dove into the entrepreneurial pool around the same time.
We did.
And did it for a while, and I was fortunate enough to end up with American Salon magazine about a year and a half ago, and you've just kind of exploded with Passion Squared and A School and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. It's awesome. It's weird. Like, I got a Facebook, speaking of Facebook, I got a Facebook memory that came up. It wasn't a memory. It was like one of those like reminders or announcements or whatever. And it said, congratulations on working 5 years at Passion Squared.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And I'm like, what? Has it been 5 years? It just seems just unbelievable.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
We're on Facebook Live, of course, which to me is almost kind of magical. The fact that we can actually do this, and we're kind of like we're cheating the system, I think, because I know Facebook Live is soon going to launch a dual screen system where we can be on the screen together, on the phone together, I guess I should say. Because Courtney Bright, our digital editor, is on the other side of the iPhone this evening. Hey, say hey, Courtney.
Hi.
Hi, Courtney.
Hey, but we're doing Skype. So this is my third, I think, Skype. We had Neil Dukoff, we've had Michael Cole, and now we have Nina, and it's kind of cool. I will, if I look a little distracted sometimes, I got like multiple screens going. We're in the command center here. It's actually Courtney's office at American Salon in New York.
Yay.
And the power of Skype, the power of social and digital. It's so cool.
And I've got a little situation going on in the loft today. If for anyone that follows me on Snapchat, you can follow the entire story today of a special guest that I've had. His name is Bruno, and he is a rescue dog up for adoption. He's currently being fostered at Ace of Hearts here in Los Angeles. So Bruno's here with me right now. He's kind of tripping though. I think he's like, what is going on? Because we've been spooning pretty much all day. So if I get a little distracted, it's because I have a little sweet baby. And again, you can follow his story on my Snapchat, Passion Squared.
And I saw Bruno. You've been texting me Bruno, and I've seen Bruno on Snapchat. So again, a great story, a great rescue, and perfect segue into storytelling. One of our favorite topics. And we just came back from Las Vegas. I'm not used to this angle, so Courtney, you tell me if I'm out of whack here. But we just came back from Las Vegas, where we did a panel to the Beacon students, 300 of the smartest students, cosmetology students in the whole country. Beacon's an amazing program that's been around for...
I mean, I get so emo thinking about them because, like, I've been to Beacon before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But every year, they just touch my heart so much, you know? And being in a room with such incredible energy and enthusiasm and passion, like, if you're ever having a bad day, go hang out with students.
Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, so true.
They're just the lights of our world, you know, and I'm still on a high from it, even though I had a cold this whole time. It's kept me going, just remembering what a special day that was with them. I loved that.
And we had, and then we'll get deep into the topics here in just a second, but I have to say thank you to our panelists, Nina being one of them. Constance Robbins, who we love, at Constance Robbins on Instagram and Snapchat. Shelley Gregory, I believe, also at Shelley Gregory. Am I getting it right?
Shelley Gregory Hair.
Hair, thank you. On Instagram and Snapchat. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I think it is.
But for sure on Instagram. Loved what she was all about. And then Sal Masseri. Sal _ Masseri is Misseri. Did I get that right? I think. Or IRI. Courtney's going to check. Nina's checking. But these were our panelists at Beacon, and did an amazing job and shared all kinds of best practices. And we've been doing these panels. I'll talk more about some upcoming panels, but they've just been inspiring to the crowds that we've been fortunate enough to do them at. We did them at ISSE, Premier, now Beacon, American Board of Certified Hair Colorists. So we're kind of on a roll with these panels. We bring them free to our audience, and we're excited to do that.
Sal is Sal, SAL _MISSERI.
Okay.
And then he also, his education page is Kaizen Education. It's KAIZEN, _education.
It's Kaizen, I think that's pronounced. I think so.
I'm going to call it Zen.
There you go. So let's talk about storytelling. Again, one of your favorite subjects. You're one of the best storytellers I know. You're brilliant, in the lane that you live in, which is really inspiring our industry, inspiring those who follow you. And so kind of high level. And we've had some questions come up on, I think it was either Instagram or Facebook. One of the first questions up was, to ask us to talk about marketing and branding for salons. And I'm going to let you riff on that a little bit.
Okay, so you want me to do marketing and branding or storytelling?
Well, let's connect the dots. Let's connect the dots.
Okay, that's a good idea, Gordon. I think the thing that it is most important to begin to think about in the social and digital age, again, the context here is social and digital, right? Is to realize it's no different than offline. It's really the merging of the fluidity between the positioning and the promise and the storytelling and the branding, all that stuff, whether it's offline within the four walls of your salon or it's online with your website or your Instagram or your Snapchat or Facebook or whatever. We are looking for this alignment between the two. So when I talk social and digital, I'm also talking offline. Really, so many of the rules apply, right? So the thing that I love and what I work with my clients on and what I blog about and what I talk about all the time is really about understanding your brand and understanding your purpose and promise. Because I think a lot of times in small business, we just kind of open, right? And we're like, okay, we're open, right? And then we're like, well, now what? Like, why would a client want to come to us? Why would a team member want to come to us? That's a question I get asked all the time. We all know, we've heard those questions. How do I motivate my team? How do I inspire people to come work for me? It's the same answers. How do you inspire a client to come to you? And really what we're looking at is the end game here. The action is what is going to inspire someone to click or to call or to subscribe or to follow. And I think for a really long time, we never really had to think that through as much as we do now. And that's really where storytelling comes in. So asking marketing strategy is a little cart before the horse, because we start with objective, right? Like, what outcome are you seeking? What is that vision for your brand? Who is your target audience? What do they value? I think one of the reasons that, and I apologize again, I have a cold, so I may be sniffing a little bit. One of the reasons I believe that Passion Squared has been effective, and one of the things I hear so often is, get out of my head. Like, why does it seem like you know what I'm thinking? And as a marketer, it's a very simple answer. Because I know what you value. Because I understand you, my target audience. I study you. I listen to you. I ask you questions. I observe you. I'm interested in you. I care about you. And so the more information and understanding I have about you, my target audience, my target client, then the more I can story tell to you in a way that resonates, in a way that's relevant, in a way that adds value to my life, in a way that inspires me to click or call or book or subscribe or follow. So those are the things that are a little more difficult, actually, than having a really cute front desk or a pretty picture or awesome blow dryer. All important stuff. But where kind of the heavy stuff comes in and the real strategy and the real thinking side of building a legitimate, long-term valuable brand is in doing this work, you know? And the cool thing is that it doesn't matter where you are in your business life cycle. You know, you could be just creating a brand. You could be a 50-year-old brand. You could be a 100-year-old brand. It doesn't matter. You can start anywhere and you can start anytime. And so I think what happens is, kind of getting more tactical into social, the objection we hear often is, I don't know what to post. Social media is a pain in the ass, blah, blah, blah. And usually the reason why that is, the larger reason why that is because we haven't done that upfront work about understanding our own brand, understanding that audience, enough to collect some content that's actually going to be valuable to the target audience, right? So it's not easy stuff, and that's why brands stand out. That's why some salons are $1 million salons and some salons are $100,000 salons. That's why some stylists are booked a year out and some stylists are desperate, right? And that's where the value of understanding your purpose and promise and understanding and answering that question, a tough question, why would someone want to come to me?
And then, you know,
one more thing on that.
No, you go.
There's a million coaches in the world, right? I don't call myself a guru. I don't call myself an expert. It's just not my thing. I don't believe in it. But when I'm in the empowerment business, that's what I do, right? So I could certainly say, hey, I'm a coach, like, work with me, whatever. And it's like, there's a million coaches. But how many chief awesomeness empowerers are there? As far as I know, there's only one, and it's me. And so my tribe is going to come to me based on that story that I'm putting out there around what they value. So simple in concept, but not easy to execute. Just not. Which is why not everyone's doing it.
Right. No, that's such a good example, because that's your version of that whole marketing thing that we're talking about, right? I mean, it's your branding. The whole, you know, what you said, I find fascinating about, you know, the cute front desk and the cool blow dryer and all of that. You know, the old-fashioned kind of marketing funnel idea. You know, and to me, what's interesting, when I was listening to you, and when I hear salons asking this question, you know, I always want to remind people of how competitive the business is today. I mean, I'm a consumer. I pay to get my hair cut, mostly because I respect you guys so much. I don't accept free services of any kind, because I just believe in you so much, and I believe in the idea that you have to charge, and you charge full price, you know, for everything that you do. But it's so competitive. I don't know anybody who can't find someone to do their hair. And so, you know, at the top of the marketing funnel, if you will, you know, when you're thinking about finding clients, the top of the funnel is so darn big, you know, and when people walk into the salon and they're in front of that cute desk, or they're in your chair and they see that blow dryer, which are important, you're at the bottom of the funnel, right? The amount of competition that you have to get people to listen to your story, or listen to your promise, or listen, you know, to what it is that makes you different, is the pool is so much bigger. You know, it's like fishing in the ocean, and you really
yet brands that have a clear definition of who they're for and who they're not for don't have any competition. See, when we get really into storytelling and we get into purpose and promise and we get into understanding our audience and putting all of our energy into creating value for them, there is no competition, because no one's doing what we're doing. I don't think I have competition, and that's not arrogant. That's not coming from an arrogant place. That's coming from, I know for a fact nobody does what I do. because the way I do it and the why I do it, and that's really what matters. And that really speaks to, Simon Sinek, start with why. And, I was so inspired when I came across Simon Sinek because that's really been my marketing philosophy for a very long time. I just didn't know that it was written in such an eloquent, amazing, research, rich, smart person's way. But
now let's explain though. Some may not know even what you're talking about right now. So Simon Sinek, one of our favorites. Go ahead.
Yes, one of our favorites. So Simon Sinek wrote a book, Start With Why, and it's really about inspiring leadership and inspiring action. And he has a great TED Talk. Please go watch it. You can Google it. It's at the top of the Google results. But he talks about people don't buy what we do, they buy why we do it. And I post about this concept often because I've always subscribed to this concept. And it's really about kind of going back to the coach example. There's a million coaches, but there's only one chief awesomeness and power. So what drives me, my brand, my story, my promise, my marketing is centered around that and not centered around, I'm a coach. Come hire me to do a coaching session. Or it's like, no, because there's a million coaching sessions, right?
Yep.
There's a million haircuts. There's a million colors. There's a million braids. There's a million nails. There's a million waxing, lashes, all that. So it's like, there's no way to win. Because there's always going to be a bigger, there's always going to be a better, there's always going to be a newer, there's always going to be a more Insta-famous, there's going to be more followers, there's going to be more attention from the media.
Mm-hmm.
The game is nuts if you play it that way, and it's really exhausting, and it's not a long-term game at all. So the more difficult game is the long-term one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is being slow and steady and strategic and taking the time to do the hard work and continually evolving and listening and adjusting as we go based on what we learn or, market, whatever, Discounting comes into play. When people find themselves discounting, it's just because there's an absence of strategy. There's an absence of objective. There's an absence of understanding the brand value beyond that moment. Like when people say, I have an opening today. Like, that's not the day to start posting on Facebook. The day to start posting on Facebook was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then you may not have an opening today.
Unless
this is a
discount
long-term proposition.
But unless you, as you've said to me before, unless you're in the discount brand business,
oh,
right?
Totally.
There's nothing wrong with discounting.
If it's a discount brand, then that is your brand story.
Right,
but
exactly.
Again, it's your brand story. So if you are a discount brand, then yeah, by all means, tell that story from the rooftops, and don't tell a premium story because our audience won't care. Right.
Let me stop you there because people come and go, and I don't know, Courtney. Let us know if you get any questions, and we encourage questions. But again, Nina Kovner, Passion Squared. If you've just joined us, Chief Awesomeness Empowerer. I love that title. One of the best coaches I know. And we're here talking about social, and I want to kind of shift a little bit into Instagram because Instagram is just like, and this could be an all day. Actually, this could be a 2-day program, and I'm gonna say. Could be, maybe. So I'm going to tell you something we're doing, actually, and then we're going to dig into Instagram a little bit. But
I'm looking at my Instagram right now.
Are you good? And actually, maybe you'll find something you could hold up. I don't know if it'll show on Skype. We're really excited, actually. American Salon is collaborating with luxury brand partners on an event in October. It's called Ideologue, the Social Media Sessions. Nina and I are both going to be there presenting. It's actually, we have an article going in American Salon magazine. This is kind of behind the scenes. Courtney, I don't even know if I'm holding it up, but if it could be seen. This is what we call galleys. This is old school paper, but we print them out. And this is going into our September issue. We just finished this up today. It's, as it says here, a groundbreaking social media and digital event. And Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is one of the reasons that I think that Nina and I are so excited beyond the rest of what you'll hear. One of the true gurus in social media today. Author, blogger, YouTuber, brilliant guy, uses the F-bomb in a way that is artful. I mean, the guy.
Oh, how much I love that.
The guy is the best F-bomber ever. And he does it in such an intelligent way. And I hope you guys will be there. But Social Media Sessions is 2 days. It's October 21st and 22nd. I'm going to just read some of the people who are coming because I'm just blown away by this and so excited that we're collaborating with LBP on this. Tev Finger, CEO of Luxury Brand Partners, of course, he's helping pull all this together for the industry. And, you know, Tev, they're such an interesting company because they've opened this up to everybody. They want people from across brands to show up. They want the industry to come together around what's going to be an intimate event. We're hoping that we get to hang with 300 really fun, cool people. Amongst the presenters will be Nikki Lee and Rihanna Capri from 901 Salon, who are huge Instagrammers. Nina, of course. Harry Bernstein, Harry B. He's got a digital agency and a Snapchat. He's a Snapchat creative partner, so outside the industry, but really understands the platforms. Also, we've got Frankie Greek, who's a Snapchat personality and also just really brilliant, young, got the coolest hair ever. She's going to fit right in with everybody. And we want to talk Snapchat because Snapchat's so happening right now. Who else do we have? I got myself on this list. Heather Chapman, Jenny Strebe, stylist Ricardo Santiago, Phil Ring, Phil does hair, Cassandra McLaughlin, that's Cassandra Platinum, one of our favorite Instagrammers, Andrew Kozak, Carlos Ramos, I don't have the full list here, Matt Beck, Pope the Barber, Mark Bustos, love Mark Bustos. Yeah. Mark Bustos is going to be there. I know I'm forgetting other people. Do you remember who I'm forgetting by chance? There are more. And it will be in Miami. At a really cool venue, and again, October 21st and 22nd. And you can go to, let's see if I get this right, the website for info, and then we'll get back to our topic here. You want to go to visit luxurybrandpartners.com/ideologue. Every time I type this, I spell it wrong. So I'm going to spell this for everybody.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, luxurybrandpartners with an S.com. And then it's Ideologue. It's IDEA, important, LOGUE, Ideologue.
You know who else is going to be there? Mer McCorn Hair.
Yes.
She's the one that does the fluid hair painting.
Love it.
Love it.
I don't know if I'm forgetting anybody else. Did I say Sugar Skulls? Carlos Ramos, Sugar Skulls, fabulous men's groomer. It's a
Alexis
killer.
Thurston.
Oh my God.
Butterfly Loft.
Alexis. Alexis, love Alexis. Anyway, it's going to be a killer crowd. I don't want to. This isn't meant to be.
Randy and Gerard from Hairbrained. I'm sorry.
No. If you've got Randy and Gerard from Hairbrained, this is going to be such a freaking cool event. Everybody needs to come. Everybody needs to come. And anyway, there'll be more online. You can go to the website I mentioned, look on American Salon, watch all the social channels. We're going to be all pushing it out because we just want to make this a really cool 2 days and learn from each other and network and listen to Gary Vee drop F-bombs and really brilliant insights into social and digital. He's a brilliant entrepreneur. So, all right, that's our little sidestep. Let's talk Instagram. Let's talk Instagram. I'm gonna go right to.
I'm Snapchatting as you said that.
I love that. We're gonna talk Instagram. Then we'll talk Snapchat. Instagram. I'm gonna go right to the hashtag thing because I think everybody's on Instagram. Probably the most common question we get about Instagram is, how to hashtag. How many hashtags is too many hashtags? How do you keep track of your hashtags? When's a hashtag appropriate versus a tag? What's the difference between a tag and a hashtag? Nina.
Oh my goodness.
So many questions.
Okay. I was Snapchatting. Okay, so let's talk hashtags. So, again, there's a million people out there talking about hashtags, and there's gurus and experts and all those things. But it's very logical if you understand your brands. Mm-hmm. So people get a little frustrated with me sometimes because they're looking for shortcuts, and I'm not that person.
Well, define a hashtag for us. What is a hashtag? Why do we have hashtags?
We have hashtags so people can search and discover content. So whether it's Twitter, now Facebook, Instagram, it's a filing cabinet. It's a way to organize information. It's a listening tool. It's now a marketing tool because it becomes a branding element, tagline, it's all sorts of things. But the most important thing to understand is what's your objective with the platform. So in this case, Instagram. Why are you on Instagram? What are you hoping to achieve? Who's your target audience? What's your brand thing? Like, what's your thing? Is it bridal? Is it braiding? Is it unicorn hair? Is it vivids? Is it haircuts? Is it balayage, ombre, whatever? And so that's really important to understand before you do anything. The other thing to remember about hashtags is they will evolve, and you need to continually be searching them on Instagram to see which ones are working for you and measure and monitor your platform. And now that Instagram is introducing business profiles, while I use Iconosquare for my Instagram analytics, Instagram now has analytics for their business profiles. So that's helpful as well in terms of who your audience is, who your followers are. Anyways.
So stop for one sec. So Iconosquare, if you don't know Iconosquare, Icono, I-C-O-N-O, Square, free analytics platform, right? Really?
Well, not so
it
much
can
anymore.
be.
It's
No,
not
you're
free
right.
as much. I think
like
basic analytics.
And $10 a month, it's like $140 a year.
It's not expensive.
It's, if you're serious about Instagram as a business tool, worth the investment, helps you keep track. And you can also kind of watch your competitors. So anyway, I sidestepped, sorry.
That's okay. So if you're a local business, I look at hashtags, excuse me, in three ways. The first way is to think about the topic content and relevance to whatever. So if you're in the bridal business, easy one, look up all the bridal hashtags, the bride hashtags, hashtags that you think brides are searching for, those types of things. Because again, we have to think of the user. We have to think of the person searching. And when you think about that, we have an intent, right? We're like, I want something. And then we search. I'm going to go look for it. And then we discover, yay, I found it. And then we are either inspired to take an action, click, call, like, follow, book, whatever, or not, right?
Yep.
Thus, the content and storytelling needs to be compelling to inspire me to take an action, right? Back to storytelling. So you definitely want to use hashtags that are relevant to your content. That may change, depending on the content or not. Then you want to use your branded hashtag. You always want to have your own hashtag. And this is now the new business card. This is the new phone number. This goes on everything. It should be everywhere in the salon. It should be on all your menus, all your business cards. It should be everywhere. Because this is how you become a good social listener. Because when clients use your hashtag, you can then go search your hashtag and connect and build relationships and engage and say thank you and regram client selfies. And it's a search and discovery and listening tool, right? So you definitely always want to make sure everyone's using the branded hashtag so you can be a good social listener. And then the third is your local hashtag. You definitely want to use local hashtags because people search for local things, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in downtown LA. Our hashtag is DTLA. So I maybe would search DTLA salon or DTLA stylist or DTLA hairdresser, DTLA whatever, right? I'm not a local business, so I don't use local hashtags, right? But if I was targeting a local audience, let's say I was promoting one workshop or class, then maybe I would use the local hashtags for that area to, again, narrow in and zoom in on the best opportunity to become more discoverable, okay? In terms of the number of hashtags, I don't do that. You can read 10 different reports, you can listen to 10 different experts, and they all say something different. Here's the answer. Use what works for you. And test and try different methods. Some people say using the max is too many. Some people say using the max is the most effective. Don't believe anybody. Just test and try it yourself. That's the best way to see what works for you. Yes, they're all guidelines, but there's no absolutes here. There's no absolutes in life, right? There's no absolutes on Instagram either. The last thing you want to do, which is not hashtag specific, but it's search and discovery specific, is always add your location if you're in the business, if you're doing business related things, because search on Instagram also happens through the location. Mm-hmm. Search on Instagram also happens in the title, not your name, but not the at name, but the name of the page. Right. So I'm Passion Squared on Instagram, but I say Nina L. Kovner as the page name because people know me as Nina Kovner and people also know me as Passion Squared. So you want to think about that. Now, with the business profiles, the next level of search and discovery is going to be coming by location, it's going to be coming by business category, because what's happening is the business Instagram profile is migrating the Facebook business page information into the feed. If you want to see what that looks like, just go on Passion Squared's Instagram, and you're going to see a few things that are different. You're going to see, for instance, under Nina L. Kovner, it says consulting business services. That was pulled from the Passion Squared Facebook page. So there's now a category, right? Yeah. A category of business. You're also going to see Los Angeles, California at the bottom. Now, that for a local business would be the address, right? Because it pulled the information. I don't use my address because I don't have people actually visiting my business. But for a local business, you do. And then you'll see a contact button. And this is, I think, probably the thing that excites me the most, is we can now take a direct action out of Instagram. Not just the clicking that one hyperlink, URL address, but actually clicking and calling or emailing. And again, it's so important to think of user experience on all social platforms, storytelling and users and how they search and all that. This is just one step in a more awesome direction for making the user experience awesome. The less clicks, the better, guys. The less clicks, the better.
And a lot of people I'm talking to, they're kind of freaking out a little bit because of some of the change. When we've seen an algorithm change, now we've got the business, we've got the business profiles, and we get attached to kind of the way we were introduced to platforms, right? And we don't expect change. Of course, without change, there'd be no Instagram, there'd be no Facebook. But I think the advice is chill, progress, right? Yes. Get educated, just like we do in the salon when we see the introduction of a new product, a category change. You guys are great at knowing when it's time to go get a haircut class because trends are changing, or an update in color. It's the same on social, right? I mean, I think to me, one of the biggest transformations I see happening in the industry, is this move into using social as a business tool, but B is so many understanding the need to get educated and to get the right education, just like you do in the services, because you don't become a great marketer, without education. And people like you, you're still learning. I mean, every day I know you're out there searching for new information. So it's just so important. Also, I think I want to mention and chat a bit with you about kind of the bigger why of social media, because I'm kind of old school. I've been around for a few years. And when I first came into the industry, which was a very long time ago, the first time I went to and I'm not a hairdresser, but I was working for a company that had schools and salons. I went to my first staff meeting, and the conversation in that meeting was all about word of mouth and the importance of word of mouth. And this was back in 1978, and it's been talked about, all the years since. And I think you and I got so excited because social was like, as I believe it's Brian Solis who says, that social is word of mouth on steroids. And we know that these platforms are just crazy, crazy powerful. And everything you're talking about and everything you've mentioned, whether it's discoverability or how we storytell, it was all being done prior to social existing. This is why we love salons so much. Hairdressers are the best storytellers on the planet. And it's just being able to move those skills that you do so naturally, onto these platforms. And
well, I mean, the challenge is, and Gary Vee talks a lot about that in The Thank You Economy. So,
great book.
If you've never read The Thank You Economy,
read it.
Do yourself a favor. Yep. It's really kind of the emerging social media why, which I love.
Yeah, it's a classic.
The thing that, I wish everyone was as passionate about business education as they were hair education. Mm-hmm. But I understand. I totally understand, But when we think about educating, we think about learning, and we think about how to engage, the thing is that's why I say it's really no different.
Uh-oh. Oh, you froze up for a second.
I did?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay. Word of mouth is word of mouth, right? Whether it's offline, whether it's the corner store, or whether it's online, through, shout outs, or through client selfies, or through hashtags, or through whatever, check-ins, whatever, all of it. And what I see happening, I actually blogged about it this morning. What happens is that I find a lot of people are spending time looking at what other people are doing, and are so concerned with all these social media stars without having any context around what that means. Just because you have 100,000 Instagram followers doesn't mean you can pay your rent. And I just cannot stress that enough.
It also doesn't mean you're focused on building a clientele. They may have a whole different purpose for being online.
Right, objective and strategy and context in the bigger picture. So all that energy that goes into looking at what everybody else is doing needs to go into what's your story, what your clients value it, how are you going to tell it, and practice, practice, and plan, and listen to your clients. Focus on listening to clients, not to other hairdressers. And I'm not saying we can't learn from other hairdressers. Of course we can. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about observing. I'm talking about comparing and getting paralyzed. There's a big difference. And it's this paralysis that's happening through this comparison game that is so destructive. And I see it every day because I work with people every day, and I get emails every day, and I work with clients every day. So, and I work with owners every day in my A-School group. So it's like, this is happening daily. So take a huge step back, right? Just stop it. Stop.
Listen to Nina.
And go back to, why are you in business? Why does your salon exist, right? Why should I come to you as a client? Who is that client? What do they value, right? What's your thing? And if you don't know, start asking. Ask your clients. You don't have to do some fancy survey. Just ask them. What do you love most about Nina's salon? Why did you ever choose to come to Nina's salon? Why do you send your friends to Nina's salon? What's your favorite part of Nina's experience? You're going to start hearing a theme. Something's going to come up. The theme I hear, I feel loved, I feel empowered, I have more clarity. That's my brand purpose. They could have written my story for my website, right? That's the ultimate, right? We know we're storytelling and doing great content marketing, because our content is our marketing. You know that we're being effective when people start regurgitating back our intention, right? Our purpose and promise as a brand. And that could be via Yelp reviews or shout outs or letters or whatever. You know that that's working, and you also know when the phone's ringing, right?
Yep.
And the online booking platform is getting appointments in the middle of the night, and books are filled up, and people are stoked, and they're talking about it. And the foundation of all of that, like you said, what do salons know how to do best? Build relationships. And social is all about building relationships. So it's a perfect fit. It's such a beautiful fit, but we're all freaked out because it's new. And that's understandable.
Well, it's new.
Right?
We're freaked out because it's new and because we don't understand it. I mean, what you're talking about are, those core ideas. And again, I'll just use the analogy again of doing hair. Everything you just talked about, going back to just, again, I'm not a hairdresser, but I've been hanging with you guys for a long time. It's about understanding bone structure. It's about understanding texture. It's under facial shape. The chemistry of hair, on and on and on. It's all those things that you guys know that you need to know to be great at what you do, in the craft side of the business. Those are the things that you're talking about from a business and a career perspective. And I just think it's important to understand that, because I just continue to bump into so many folks who are wanting to learn this so desperately, but there's not that understanding that there's a science that goes into this, as much as there is an art.
Yes.
And just
and a commitment to consistency. We stop before we actually can build a relationship, right?
But what's the 10,000 hour thing on the craft? I think it applies to social.
It applies to everything.
Everything.
It really does.
God
bless Outliers. Malcolm Gladwell. Get it. Read it.
Yeah,
Listen to it if you don't like to read. Whatever.
So many great books. Courtney, how are we doing on time? I can't see a clock. I have no idea where we are. We're lost in conversation.
Good. I think we're around 30 or 40 minutes.
We can talk a little bit more.
Do we have questions?
Do we have any questions?
No, but everyone is loving you guys. They love what you have to say.
Oh my God! Somebody asked a question. Who do we know? I know somebody we know is out there. So somebody ask us a question.
I can sing.
No, we can go on for hours. And while we're waiting for a question, we're gonna get a question. We won't start again until we get a question. No, there's so many things we can talk about, but I do want to say. So we talked a little bit about Instagram. I want to kind of cover. I want to get into Snapchat with you, because I I'm Snapchat challenged. Now I read and I watch and I learn. I get it strategically, right? I get the big picture. I'm kind of like the medical professor who can teach medicine but can't pick up a scalpel and actually do. Those who cannot do teach. So, but Snapchat, it is so new. Courtney's brilliant at it. You're brilliant at it. It's, what are we up to? 9 billion views a day, I believe now. It's
many.
It's the new big platform.
Listen to me, my site, my analytics.
I love it.
So many.
And I look at it we're going to see where it takes us. I look at it as a brilliant storytelling platform that I think it's going to become an educational platform. Carla Sugar Skulls, who again I recommend you follow on both Snapchat. One of my favorite Snapchatters. You've got to watch Carla's. I wish I want to do an imitation of Carla's spinning and doing the big Carla smile, but I'll let you watch it. But he was teaching how to use a shear and talking about the blade and doing it by way of Snapchat, and it's really great stuff, and I'm seeing more and more of it. So I'm excited. Now we have a question.
So Kristen wants to know, what is the first step to building a social presence?
So Nina, from Kristen, what is the first step to building a social presence?
Hi, Kristen. Thank you for the question. I would say, I'm just going to use Simon Sinek's or start with why. Start at the beginning. Start at the beginning of why are you even choosing that platform, whatever platform it may be. And we want to be where our clients are, so know where your clients are. And it goes back to knowing our clients, right? So building a social presence is as much about understanding our objective, kind of what the end game is, what outcome are we seeking, who are we talking to, who's that audience, what do they value, and then beginning one post at a time, one relationship at a time, and spend more time listening than talking. And what that means, I was mentioning social listening earlier. Search those hashtags. Follow American Salon. And look at the content and start building relationships with people or people within the community. There could be an awesome local hashtag that's being used in your community. Look, if I was a salon in downtown LA, I would be all over every downtown LA curated kind of like what's happening today type feed. And I would be connecting with people. I would be liking and commenting authentically, not those spam comments. Those are lame AF. I won't cuss. Just AF.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the first step, Kristen. That really is the first step. And then once you start getting into a rhythm, then you're going to measure and monitor. You're going to see what works. You're going to start building these relationships. The phone may even ring. You're going to flip out with that first referral, right? And then you're going to gain a little bit more confidence. But here's the deal. Do not stop. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to have posts that have 0 likes. You're going to have no engagement. You're going to have this and that. But we all start somewhere. If anyone's interested in going back 4,300 photos to my first Instagram, I share this every so often. It was a picture of iced tea. It had 3 likes. It was lame. There was no story behind it. There was no hashtags. There was nothing. In fact, the first 10 of my first 12 posts were espresso and iced tea, like I'm working for Starbucks or something, right?
Well, you kind of are.
I know, but I'm not. Today I'm working for Coffee Bean.
We're coffee fanatics.
Anyways, my point is that I never stopped, right? I never stopped, and I kept listening, and I kept building relationships, and kept engaging, and getting more clear on my story, and kept testing content, seeing what resonated. When I saw what resonated, I did more. I hear this all the time. People are like, I'm putting just like all this pretty hair, and then all of a sudden I post a picture of my team, and everyone likes the team and not the hair. Yep. And I'm like, well, why do you think that is? Guys, this is social. Social. Two or more people talking, having fun, building relationships.
Responding
listening,
too.
saying hi, saying
it's not
hello,
a one-way
saying
conversation.
Whatever. So, be social. Be human.
And I would throw in, find role model. Again, I go back to me, I think the biggest aha I had with social early on was it's just like the real world. And we said that a couple different ways, a couple different times tonight. It's just like the real world. The way we interact with people as human beings is what works best on social. We react. When someone says something nice, we say thank you. I think role models, they're so important in life. They're important on social. Some of the best hairdressers I know, when I talk to them about the beginnings of their career, they talk about standing behind someone great for 2 years and watching and learning and listening and then practicing and slowly kind of getting their sea legs while they, got that experience and were allowed to make mistakes, gave themselves a chance to make mistakes and learn. And I just think role models are so important. It's just find others in the space. If you're a salon and you're wanting to promote yourself effectively, find salons in other markets. There's so many of them that we all follow that you can follow and learn from. Go to American Salon, look at some of the stuff that we're curating, and then click on those profiles and just see who's doing good stuff. But I just think role models are so important, whether you're an independent, whether you're a salon owner, whether you're a stylist who's trying to build your book. Learn from others.
And the key is learn from others, be inspired from others, but don't compare and don't copy.
Right.
Because copying completely puts us off strategy, right?
Yep.
And off brand. So we don't want to do what they do. We want to see the vibes and the themes and the approaches and the tactics.
Yep.
And then we ultimately have to be with ourselves
Yep.
and figure out what fits. And if you are a salon owner that has a team, this is a great exercise to do with your team. Because we all know people support what they help to create, blah, blah, blah. So, make this a creative exercise that is an ongoing part of team gatherings. Make it creative, do storyboards. It could be so much fun. So much fun. Instead of looking at it as this exhausting chore. Let me just real quick share a little story with you. Since the Instagram algorithm change, I've been testing. Of course, I have to test. I can't read articles because, again, I'm not looking for someone else's opinion. I'm looking to form my own. And so I do a lot of my own testing and my own observing and my own analyzing over time. And one of the things that I did was I stopped engaging completely. I pushed out content, which is what so many people think they're supposed to do. If you're just going to jump on social to push out content, don't waste your time. Go party or have coffee or go on vacation.
Don't party.
Because it doesn't work. But anyways, I didn't engage for like 2 weeks thinking I could manipulate the algorithm or see if the algorithm changed or see if whatever. Just observing and testing and analyzing. And the question that I actually answered this in a Q and Awesome that I think American Salon has shared. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on my Facebook page. Social media is so exhausting. Why is it so exhausting? It's exhausting if you're just pushing out content. I was so bored and so uninspired during those weeks that I chose not to engage. It was brutal.
Well, it's like cutting hair and not talking. It's the same thing, right? It's not being social.
It just was brutal. So it's like once I start diving back in and I get to like engage and talk to people, it's like, this is why I'm here, which is why I love Snapchat so much. Speaking of Snapchat, there's so much interaction going on Snapchat. I can't even with that. Like, it is so, I love it so much. Now, one of the reasons I love it, full disclosure, everyone snaps their dogs. So, bring me all the doggies. Snap me all the doggies. And I'm a happy person.
And you love the filters. Let's be truthful. You love the filters.
Well, many of us love the filters because they're fun, right?
Yeah,
super
totally.
fun filters. And a super fun way to storytell.
Mm-hmm.
What I love about it is it reminds me of what Instagram was 5 years ago, because everyone wasn't so flipping uptight about keeping up appearances and being perfect and having the perfect this and the perfect that. And so it's so unplugged. And yes, there are some that are very crafted and strategic, which is also great, like Pop Sugar or
Check out Pop Sugar.
Which I love, But at the end of the day, it is a storytelling. It's called stories, right? Snap stories. There's stories. And the thing that's beautiful about Snapchat is it's kind of a multitasker for us, because not only does it allow us to share these very authentic, very human stories, behind the scenes stories, the shit that people love. I've done good.
You've done very good, actually.
But what's cool about this, you guys, is that you can then download, save those stories, and turn those into Instagram posts.
Right.
Turn those into longer form videos. Turn those into newsletter content. Turn those into blog posts. all the time, Facebook posts, all the times you're saying, I don't know what to post, or I don't know what to write in my newsletter. I don't know. Snapchat is a content creator in many ways that can then be curated yourself to your other platforms as relevant, obviously within context. But so I'm loving it for all those reasons. The relationships, the conversations. I have more conversations on Snapchat on the daily than I have on Instagram or Facebook.
Which is fascinating.
And they're longer form conversations, which of course you know me, I love, right? The deeper I can connect with my audience and my community and my clients, the happier I am. And I know that any business owner would feel the same way. I mean, if we're not into building relationships, we are in the wrong business.
No, true. Now we have a question. I think we have a question.
Awesome.
So Laura wants to know how you can encourage your clients or team to start posting on Instagram.
Is that Laura?
That's
Yes,
Laura,
Laura.
who wants to know how to get the
Great
team or
clients.
team or clients to post on Instagram. What's your
Yeah.
advice, Nina?
Well, I think we all are inspired by different things, right? And so let's start with the stylist. On the stylist side, what's in it for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have to see value. We all have to see value in something in order to do it, just like being on a social platform. If I don't see value in the platform, I'm going to see it as a pain in the ass. I'm going to see it as exhausting. I'm going to see it as all those things. So we have to dig deeper into finding out what they value, right? What do the stylists value? If they value a clientele, which let's not assume that they are, but if they are valuing clientele, this is one way to help build a clientele, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would start there, right? I would start with what's important to you, what do you value, and what are you willing to do to reach that objective? Because at the end of the day, guys, we have to decide for ourselves. No incentive, no king boss beat me up, no threats, no whatever. None of that works, guys. None of that works, particularly with millennials, because millennials crave purpose, right? So when we're working with our younger team, we need to understand what is that core inspiration for them. What is that purpose of the things that we're doing? That's where they get inspired, is when there's purpose and meaning behind their actions. So again, not the easiest way, but the most long-term way.
But
They
stop.
have to see value. And same for the client, too.
But stop.
Some clients don't want their face on social platforms, and some do.
So let's go back to the team members really quick, because asking team members or individual stylists, independents, to go out and encourage referrals, which is really part of what's happening here. Getting individuals to go out and ask for business has been a never-ending problem in this industry for as long as I can remember. And your answer applied before there was social and after, because it's really going back to having that internal motivation, understanding. But I have to add that I think for a lot of people, for a lot of stylists over the years, so much of it when you're part of a team, is understanding, again, the core values of the business, but also feeling and having an understanding that the business that you're part of, the team you're part of, supports you and understands you. Yeah. And when I talk to those who've been successful on teams, they appreciate the leadership that they receive in the salon. They appreciate the way they're treated. They appreciate, the brand perhaps that the salon has chosen to work for. There's so many dynamics to come into the workplace when we're part of a team and when we're an employee. So you've got all that going on. Again, old school, new school, it's all the same. It's getting.
Well, a great example of that is David Thurston at Butterfly Loft.
Yep.
David and Alexis have really built a brand and launched another brand, really based on the fact that even though they're an independent salon, they see value in Instagram, and so the people that were attracted to them saw value in them because of the value they saw and how they present and promote the independent business owners that are under those roofs over there in Encino, California.
Yep.
And so you're absolutely right. I mean, team is team, right? But we, at the end of the day, still have to see value. There has to be something that inspires us to take action. Now, on the client side, selfie contests or things like that are always fun. But look, I have a real issue with incentives for the reason that they are so short term. If we create a system, our job is to facilitate shared experiences. Brian Souls talks about shared experiences in all of his books, right? Generation C, the connected customer, is passionate about sharing experience. That means look at my dog, look at my breakfast, look at my this, look at my whatever. So as business owners, and we're all business owners, I don't care how we get paid, I don't care what building we're in. As business owners, we are the facilitators of those shared experiences. And part of that facilitation is making it so easy for clients and inspiring clients to want to post selfies. Sugar Schools is a great example. You know, when you book a Sugar Schools experience, part of that is a full Snap story, is a full Instagram grid with all your pictures and all the different angles. You know that. So those clients get bummed if for any reason they didn't show up on the Snap or they didn't get posted on Instagram. So again, it does go back to objective. It does go back to target audience. It does go back to all those things. But when we create experiences and make things fun and interesting and celebrate the client, they're going to be stoked to be either taking selfies and posting using our hashtag or doing a photo shoot within the salon where the ring light is, where the step and repeat is, whatever that photo taking area, that storytelling area of the salon. Things have changed, guys. Things have changed dramatically. And I actually wrote a blog about this a couple months ago because my glam squad, Larissa, Doll, and Sugar Schools, both have created experiences based on folding storytelling into that experience. So there's time for Snapchats. There's time for befores and afters. There's time for all of that because that is 2016, right? And they understand shared experiences and they understand how passionate this Generation C, the connected customer, not defined by age, defined by behavior, they understand that. And so maybe that 45-minute haircut becomes an hour. Because here's the deal. You may think you're losing money, but you're going to be making more money because you're adding value to the service and you're also going to build incredible word of mouth and referrals and energy through your storytelling and live happily ever after.
And I think it's important to say too that again, depending on what your brand is, the experience can be different.
Totally.
I'm going to use myself as an example because I love this story. My hair cutter Joseph, who I've been seeing now for several years, I am not overly conscious of fashion or I hope I don't spend too much time worried about how I look. However, I work with you all and I try to look nice. I try to look pretty. And I I've gone to some of the best cutters in Chicago over the years, and my last Sassoon cutter moved to LA. I made a decision to stay in my hood, and so I found this salon close by to home that had been recommended, and saw a guy whose first thing he said to me after my first cut was, "I want you to come in between appointments to get a cleanup." And we've all heard that, consumer guys, and I kind of poo-pooed it a little bit, and he said, "No, I really want you to come in." And he said, it'll take 15 minutes. I'll do a cleanup all over, neck trim, but more of a real cleanup. And I decided to try it, I think, the first time. What fascinates me, and goes back to that whole experience, because I'm committed to this salon and to this hairdresser now. I go in every 2 weeks religiously. I'll tell the whole story because I think it's kind of deep. It's a $45 haircut. I'm a decent tipper, average guy tipper, maybe I give $15. And I go for a second week and get the cleanup. I just had it before I got here. I got my cleanup. I was coming to New York. I had some meetings over at Redken and Matrix, meeting with the L'Oreal people tomorrow. So I had to look pretty. And he gave me a cleanup. Of course, I give him a $20 tip for that. So now I'm spending $80 for 2 cuts every 4 weeks. I'm religious. I'm in 12 times a year. 24 times. 24 times. But if you do that on an average, it's almost $1,000 a year that I'm spending. The big point going, he's rebooking me. He's getting to me come more frequently, right? The basis of all the hardcore how you build your business with or without social. And most importantly, he creates an experience that I absolutely love. I tell my friends about it. Sometimes I post social about it. Going back to your whole conversation about experience and how powerful it can be. And the fact that I want to tell other people. And that's the gold standard for all of you. And then if you can...
what we do anyways. It's just applying that to our business.
And applying it to social because it's such a powerful platform. So we're going to wrap up in a moment because we've been on for over an hour now.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
We said 30 minutes. We have such fun talking to each other. You're so smart. I love it. We talked about Luxury Brand Partners and the social media sessions coming up in October. We're going to be there. We're going to do American Salon Social. That's what we call our panels. We're doing 3 panels as well as a whole series of keynoters and Gary Vee we talked about. Our panels, we're doing a panel on Instagram that'll have some rock star. I mentioned earlier some of the folks are going to be with us. We're doing another panel on content. I'm really excited about that. And then we're doing one that I'm really excited about. And it's really kind of about the viral categories that exist online, kind of how they're changing the industry. Braids, hair color, barbering. Those 3 categories have been supercharged. Who would have thought, 5 years ago that the entire barber industry could be re-energized by way of social? Who would have thought that braids would have taken on its own life? All because of social. And hair color, the vivids and the colors that have come from that. Again, it's a transformation for the industry, and we're going to be talking about it all and a whole lot more in Miami. So we're all excited about that. Courtney and I, Courtney again's behind the camera, we are going to do a tour of the Southern California area. We haven't picked the date yet. It's going to be probably later in September, maybe early October. We're going to go out for a week to 10 days. We're going to be doing pop-ups. We're going to be visiting some of our favorite artists for how-tos. Courtney's got a big smile on her face back there.
I do too. I'm so excited.
Yes, we haven't even told you yet. So we're really excited about that. We're going to be doing something at Redken Symposium. American Salon is going to be doing something really exciting with panels at Symposium. We had that conversation today. That's a sneak peek about something new to be announced for that. We'll be at Paul Mitchell Gathering. Gathering's coming up. We'll be roaming around. We got our full team of American Salon Beat Gathering. Watch for us. Courtney will be Snapchatting everywhere we are, and especially at Gathering. We've got 4 Facebook Lives planned there. We've got next Monday, I'm with Charlie Price. We have so much going on. Doing Charlie Price in Denver, Colorado. And we're going to do a how-to with Charlie. Sally Rogerson. We're doing Sally Rogerson how-to haircut on the 10th. Oh, I'm all excited. Now I don't want to shut up.
I'm excited for you guys. This is incredible.
Facebook Live Wednesday. Courtney, speak up. Tell us what we're doing on Wednesdays.
We have a Facebook Live planned on this Wednesday that's coming up, and I can't tell you guys exactly what we're going to do, but it's going to be really awesome how-to that you guys are going to want to follow. It's going to happen at 9:30 Eastern Time, and we'll post about it tomorrow for you guys to get all the details. So be sure to check that out on Instagram.
And that's 9:30 a.m.
Yes,
9:30 a.m. So we have so much stuff coming up on Facebook Live, the platform we're speaking to you on right now. And then remember, these get saved. You can watch the replays. So go back to our video tab on Facebook. We did Jenny Strebe Live, Confessions of a Hairstylist. We were with Jenny on Saturday. She also Snapchat at Lollapalooza. I was so jealous.
They did so good, she and Shireen. Yeah, oh my God, it was such a good Snapchat story.
They did. So we can go on and on. It's time for us. What are you smiling about, Courtney?
No, I love it. I'm loving the conversation. People are loving it too. They're really excited about this. They're excited about the social media panel that's coming up in October.
Thank you, guys. We're so excited to do this. We do this for you. We have so much passion for you and about you, and we feel like we're the luckiest people in the world to do what we do and to be able to engage with you and bring you valuable content and share it, especially from all the wonderful artists we know, all the wonderful educators and the brands who support us and obviously support you guys in your careers every single day. So Nina, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you.
Okay, I'm Passion Squared on Facebook, Passion Squared on Instagram, Passion Squared on Snapchat. My website's passionsquared.net. You can sign up for my weekly Dose of Awesome newsletter.
Great newsletter.
And Passion Squared TV on YouTube.
Your texting program, my daily dose of awesome.
You get your awesome a day. I do have a morning text coaching program, which you can find out on my website, passionsquared.net /shop. And all the information's in there. So, so I'm everywhere. I'm listening always, and
you are
stoked to build relationships, stoked to answer questions, and I've got some events coming up. I've got all sorts of stuff coming up in August. I'm going to be in San Diego on August 8th. I'm going to be all over the place. LA on August 15th at Cut House. Anyways, you can find all my information in my newsletter, on my Facebook page, Instagram, and Snapchat.
and American Salon underscore, or American underscore Salon on Instagram, on Snapchat. We're here on Facebook right now, AmericanSalon.com, of course. Hashtag American Salon. Hashtag American Salon Selfie. We love when you guys share your selfies with us. I think that's it. Courtney, am I forgetting anything?
Nope, that's all. And you can see me more on Snapchat if you don't know what I look like behind the scenes right now.
Yeah, the
She's
voice.
adorable and smart.
And so fashionable, and so, yes, and so smart. We love Courtney, and we love you guys. So thank you so much for spending time with us this evening. And watch for us everywhere. Bye from American Salon.